All right, we are live. This episode has been inspired by Ravi Shastri because after that, Virat Kohli has handwritten a new book just launched 1 second ago. This is called The Subtle Art of Losing Every Fucking Toss by Virat Kohli, handwritten, and he's given me the first copy signed. I think he forgot to sign. He wrote his name. Good enough. Also, the Ishan Kishan experiment failed. So Fatty is there. Fatty means Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma actually is saying, like, he's been giving interviews like, oh, well, have you seen Afghanistan's wicketkeeper? If you look at him, I'm technically the fittest person ever alive. Like, look at him. His paunch is falling everywhere. Who looks bigger than Arjuna Ranatunga? And what do you think about this Ishan experiment? Like, do you think, like, I don't see right now, we never, like, because we're Indians, right? So we kind of we don't like to use the word dropped and other things which other people will generally use. So even we're scared to say drop for Surya Kumar Yadav, who apparently got injured, got back spasms while not doing anything. I don't buy that argument.
Yeah, I think they should just come out clean. They should understand that the audience, that they're talking to are all adults. They're all mature adults. You can't like mollycoddle and say, oh, he's like, injured or not fit or this spasm or that spasm. Just say that he's dropped and we feel that for this match, Ishan Kishan is a better pick. Your decision may be right or wrong. That doesn't matter. But give us your true what you really think. I mean, this is just playing around with words. Anyway, I just think that it was the right. I mean, Surya Kumar Yadav was completely out of touch. Looked completely, a shadow of himself in the IPL. So I don't know why he started the first match. But I mean, anyways, it is what it is. And turns out this experiment also hasn't worked. I would
The
have gone
fatty
with.
got dropped, man. The fatty got
Yeah,
dropped like a dolly, an absolute dolly. What the
yeah.
fuck? Like, this is just horrible. Horrible. Who is this? Seaford? And like his wife is like crying. She doesn't understand that if you drop it, it's not out. And then she's like, okay, no, you got saved. You got saved. This is a
I
good one.
somehow have a feeling that India was like trying to protect Rohit Sharma from Bolt, because apparently he has a good record against Sharma, and like now 2 overs of Bolt is
Yeah, you
out,
missed
and
the
now Sharma can play the
you
middle
yeah.
overs.
You missed our last podcast where I talked about the people who actually don't understand cricket. If you're a left arm bowler and if you have the right kind of skills, just the way Shaheen Shah Afridi had, just the way Bolt has, just the way Mitch Stark has. So if you pitch the ball there or you york it at the very onset, because this guy, instead of warming up, he's probably eating vada pav. Okay. So he's not very warmed up. He relies completely on his skills, which is just immense and through the roof. But because he's not warmed up, if we get the right delivery, because a lot of people are not been doing that. And if the pitch is slightly swinging, if you can trust yourself, you can ball the delivery, he will miss it. That's exactly what he did. Okay, he
And he has
cleared his
no
left
foot
leg out.
movement, right? Yeah, he has
No,
no
he,
foot
he actually
movement
cleared
at the
his left leg
beginning.
out because which is
Yeah.
to avoid LBW, but he removed, which is the correct thing, which has been people been doing that. But then he just wasn't quick enough to get to the delivery, and he completely missed it. That's what happened. Now they dropped like an absolute dolly because he's a compulsive puller, which is not at all a bad thing, except that he did not hit it very well. Because now whenever you get out a couple of times, you kind of get confused. I would say, like, if you're gonna hit it, you might as well hit it all the way. Doesn't matter. Like, go all out, all out. Well, he got lucky because otherwise there would have been second duck, and this probably was a golden duck. Let's see what he does after this. Let's move our attention to Manchester, not very united. I have a big question for you. I mean, it's a small question, but it's a big question framed in the big words. It starts here. After Ferguson, United signed a really good manager from a mid-table club, David Moyes. Didn't work out. Then we had a big manager and also big physically, Louis Van Gaal. Didn't work out. Then we hired arguably the greatest ever manager, and according to him, the greatest ever of everything, Jose Mourinho. Didn't work out. Then we hired a manager who got Cardiff relegated. Everyone fell in love with this Norwegian nice boy, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 3 years down the line, United has won nothing. Now we just got thrashed by Liverpool 5-0. People say it could have been 10-0. The question is, just because Van Gaal and Mourinho failed, should we simply stop looking for a top manager and not divorce with a dude who looks completely out of his depth at the helm of arguably still the greatest club in the world?
Simple answer to that is yes. United have to look for the best managers, but like just to take a step back, just breaking into two parts. When he was appointed, it was the right thing to do because United had a series of three failed managers, and United had lost their identity, how they want to play, how what the club is looking like. And this guy, to be fair to him, has done a fair job. He steadied the ship. He came in as a caretaker manager. He's taken relatively good care of it, and now it's time to hand over and say thank you very much. Uh, Now I think he's probably he'll tarnish his legacy at United, because, as you rightly said, he looks completely out of his depth. Uh, he has no tactical nuance, or like how to get best out of these superstar players, right? And United, being the club that it is, has to look out for best managers in the world, not this nice people, yes men, who will say yes to the Glazers and protect them at every little controversy. So yeah, he has to go.
Big People want Big Sam at the wheel. We are not getting relegated. Big Sam is supposed to be, he's a relegation expert
Oh, that would be
without
a
even choice.
nightmare. That would be a nightmare. Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it. Big Sam is like this, a dark figure in football. Wherever he goes, that club is in trouble. That's why he goes there.
No, that's exactly what happens all the time with these people. We already talked about this guy got dropped. Okay, fair enough, whatever your points were. Now, realistically speaking, Conte, Pochettino, Rogers, Allegri, Zidane, Martinez, or Graham Potter can replace Solskjaer. I know you love Rogers completely, but he has never won anything. We can't have. See, right now, there is no point replacing him with somebody who will make us finish second. We can only replace him with somebody who's going to win everything. And for that case, it's only Antonio Conte, because Zidane, people might say, has won everything. He doesn't speak English. And I'm not even sure he's at all interested. That's not the person that you want to put here. I want to put Conte. I don't care if he stabs Ronaldo in the middle of the pitch. I don't care if he shaves off Sir Alex Ferguson, if he comes to the to the training and drags him by the leg and just drags him out, that 80-year-old gentleman. I don't care, because I know one thing: this guy wins, and you know that thing. He came here, he fought with everything very first season, and apart from Klopp and Guardiola, he's the only guy still who has won the league here. And as amazing as Tuchel is, it's still going to be mighty difficult. And still, Chelsea is the last time that they won was with him. He played one season and 1.5, then he left, fought with everybody. But I think right now, only thing that matters is I don't want to live my life not seeing United win again. I don't care how it's done. Just get the job done. And he's not even going to play poor football. He's going to play very tactical football, and it's not going to be, sometimes going to be boring. But Conte lives football. He lives and he sleeps football. He dreams football.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. I mean, I think among all the names that you said, I think he is the one who, in the immediate term, I don't care about, like, project is a new fancy word in football that, oh, we have this project and that project. Project is used as a word to buy time. Okay. But I'm talking immediate, here and now. He's the guy of all the names that you listed out, right? He's the guy to deliver. And I don't care if he goes, after one season or two seasons, as long as it delivers the trophy. United have kind of been like stuck in the middle. Sir Alex Ferguson is gone. He's the once in a lifetime, once in a generation. You will not get a coach who will last 25 years or 20 years at a club. I don't think so. At a scale of a club like United. And they have to let go of this notion that, oh, we want stability and we want 10 years of nice things at the club. Doesn't work like that. Football has changed. So you get a guy, even though he might be abrasive and will stand against the board, but at least he'll deliver. And he, to me, is the right man. Zidane would get a fair shout, but you are right. I don't think he is interested. He is passionate about joining United. He is happy, cozy. I think he might take up the France national job after the World Cup. But he is a Real Madrid legend and Real Madrid manager. I don't see him really going back to, or he can go back to UA or some of his other older clubs. I don't see him as a professional manager who can, like, go to any club and transform it.
Yeah, also there's an element of desperation, right? Like United itself, because our main perspective seems to be making a lot of money, finishing in top four, getting more like social media followers, and they're generating a lot of revenue. It's going to continue happening, right? So the desperation will not come from the board, and Zidane is like a cool customer. somewhere the desperation has to come. When Conte is there, he does not care what the other people want. I mean, with Inter, their people, they're happy to dissolve the club. They don't give a rat's ass. This guy still wanted to win and sell everything. He will sell people's underwear just to make sure that they win. He is like that. He's that cutthroat, and that's the only reason why Antonio Conte, and the fact that he has won at the most unexpected places, including in EPL, in English Premier League. If he had not won here, I wouldn't be so vociferous about it. Because, see, if Conte fails, I'll accept it. But if you get anybody else, you get Martinez, people like, oh, he's been Belgian. With the best Belgian side, they always end up losing all the big
They
matches. They
choke.
never even end up in the
Yeah.
finals. So might as well get Gareth Southgate. What's the point of getting to the final and not doing anything? It's not the point. It just doesn't make any sense. And this caretaker person, it's like a literally same story which happened with me. I think I was going somewhere outstation, and there was this sabji guy, and I said, like, you can deliver some sabji to my wife while I'm gone, so just she doesn't have to travel so much because she was ill. And I come back, like, and then this sabji guy is living in my house, and he already has 3 kids, and I'm like, what the fuck? And the weirdest part is, I was only gone for 3 months, so I don't know what happened. Like, how the hell all these things happened, but it
Yeah,
happened.
I
The
was
same
listening to, I heard an interesting thing from this guy, Mark Ogden. He's a close, journalist who is close to United. He made an interesting comment. He said Oli came in as a caretaker manager. He did reasonably okay. He became a manager, and again now he's a caretaker manager because I mean, everyone has lost faith, and United are only waiting because they probably haven't found the right manager. And Oli is again, quote unquote, right now in a caretaker capacity. So, like, the manager role is being sandwiched between two caretaker roles. And I think he'll
thing.
go sooner rather than later, for sure.
He can't complain because they've already insured his like career, his lifetime thing by giving him another contract. That means if he gets fired,
That
he
was
gets
just
like gazillion
insane.
gazillion
Why
millions
would
of,
you give
yeah,
him an extension at the beginning of the
absolute
season?
nonsense. It's not even like people, like some people say, like, you get an extension so you feel comfortable. Was he not feeling comfortable? Like, nobody says
He
anything to
will
him. He
not
should
be
be the most
hired.
comfortable
He
person.
will Even Norwich City won't hire him after he gets fired from United. Unfortunately, that's the truth. As much as I like him and what he has done for United, no disrespect, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, call spade a spade. So I don't think he will get immediately, hired by a Premier League team. Anyways, I think he'll become the Norwegian national coach.
No, okay. By the way, Rahul just got out. Can somebody put the goddamn score here? So Rahul got out. So we're still in trouble, but started okay. Let's see what happens. Now, when you were saying that even Norwich would, I take offense to that, by the way. Even Norwich wouldn't hire him. The fact is, Norwich has a plan. They do certain things. They say, no matter what happens, every time we come back, we go back. Every time they go back, they win the league. And that is not a fluke. They have a plan in place. They make sure they keep the right simple players, and it stays good. They will never hire Ole. Never ever hire Ole. Okay. Seen Brighton's coach? Have you seen Brighton's coach? You see Brighton's playing? Let's talk about Arsenal. After losing the first 3 matches, everybody was after Arteta's ass. And I was thinking, yeah, you know what? Can you just give this dude a little bit time? The fact is that a lot of players he bought, everything takes time, and there were a lot of players injured, people coming in, it's already disarray. Can you just back off a little bit? But the my god, he was vicious attack against this guy. Since then, it's completely changed. It is just completely weird. Literally, technically, in top four, because only on like goal difference, they're not, because they're 17 points, which is exactly as United and West Ham, right? And if you see the last 9 matches, they've won 7 and they've drawn 2. So they've pretty much taken 17 points out of the available 21, and they've reached to the top. It's unbelievable. Like, it's
But
just
I
crazy. Do
mean,
you think this
so
this is actually moving forward, or this is another flash, a slightly longer flash in the pan?
it's a longer flash in the pan. Like, let me just cut the chase. So if you I think I was hiding after the first three matches because in the season preview that we did, you asked me
Hmm.
who's the dark horses and like who'll have a
Oh
good season. I
yeah,
said Arsenal, right?
Gunnar,
And after the
Gunnar.
after the first three season after the first three matches, I was like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't bring that up or that video doesn't surface again. But I mean, I said it for a reason. But again, the point is Arteta is again. I mean, if I have to compare him, he's like an Oli. He will not win you titles. He doesn't have that pedigree or nuance to to fight against the likes of Klopp and Guardiola and Tuchel for sure. He may be like, unfortunately, Arsenal's ambition is to be in the top four. Like
Yeah, yeah.
coming
That
from the
ceiling is
place
different,
they
right?
are,
Yeah. If they
yeah.
finish fourth, it'll
So
be a most amazing season ever.
I get that, but my point is, it's a flash in the pan. It's a nice little run they are stitching together. Again, they will have a bump of 3-4 matches, and so Arsenal will finish like between sixth and eighth or something of that sort. If they finish anything above sixth, then it's a fantastic season, and Arteta should be given a 3-year new deal based on that.
But I don't know what is happening with New Zealand. They've been just misfielding the most easier shots, particularly only from the fatty, from Rohit
I
Sharma.
just unfortunately see that this India will score like 150, 160, and New Zealand. I mean, unfortunately, whatever you say, this tournament has been damn squib if you ask me, because of the last 15 matches, 12 matches, 15 matches since the Super 12 started, 12 matches have been won by teams chasing. And the three matches where the teams batting first won, two of them were like by Afghanistan against Scotland and
They
Namibia.
would have
So
won
you can
anyway, right?
discount
They would
that.
have won anyway.
So you
They would have.
discount
Yeah,
that.
Afghanistan would have won anyway, depending wherever the hell they were going to
Yeah,
bat. It would have. They
correct.
would have won.
So I'm
Like today,
correct. So I'm
right?
discounting that, because out of the 13 matches, only one match has been won by team batting first, which is that
West Indies, right?
Bangladesh against West Indies. Like they just like didn't somehow they only lost 5 wickets but couldn't score 140. They lost by 3 runs. It was a bizarre batting performance. But I think this tournament, is I don't think the tosses should have so much influence on matches. And as soon as we won, we lost Kohli lost another toss. I'm like, oh my god, this is a virtual quarterfinal, right? If we lose this, then done. Then Pakistan and New Zealand will be top two, and India is out.
See, the logic is that
Only two
because
qualify, right?
yeah, yeah. So because we're in a group which is super easy, what that does is the side effect of that is that if you actually lose to the big teams, you're pretty much
Correct.
screwed,
Pretty
right?
much gone.
Because it's
Yeah.
easy because you're supposed to like beat at least one of the T teams, but if you lose to both the big teams, they're gonna end up winning all the other matches, and you're screwed.
Correct.
The best part about being in a really terrible group is like the group 2 or group 1, whatever that is called, that even if you lose matches, you can still do very well as long as you
anyone can
make sure
beat
you win
anyone,
three
right?
games.
Yeah.
So there, if
Yeah.
you win 3 matches and your run rate is not a problem, you'll get through. Here, you win 3 matches, you're not going to qualify. You need to win 4 matches because the three are like dollies, easy matches. So now Pakistan is already through, and they have got like the easiest matches coming up. By the way, it won't. It's not like saying like putting India down or something, but it's saying like it won't surprise anybody if Afghanistan beats India or any big team, because Afghanistan is looking really good. That day against Pakistan, apart from the onslaught by Asif at the end, they could have pulled off that victory as well. And
That would have
well,
opened up the group slightly, that some result has gone the other way. But now I think this looks very, very predictable. Whoever wins this match is going to make it. Who will finish second in the group and will probably face England in the semis.
okay, so I have a question again for United. With really bad results for the top teams over the weekend, as you noticed that Liverpool, after thrashing us so much, they were 2-0 up and then they drew. City lost. Laporte was just horrible. We won. And now we're like literally like just few points, like 4 points off or something, like 3 points off. We can't write off the title chances, right? Like we can go on a run. I'm saying it's completely ridiculous thing to say, but we can't really write off, right? Like it's not written off yet. But if we had lost today and all those two teams had won, then you're just pretty much done for, right? Then it's just done.
Yeah, I think I would not get excited by this, because even if United is at the top in February, I would still be shit scared in my pants, because I don't think Oli has the grit to grind out matches and win the tough matches. I give 2% chance of United winning the title. It started off
Oh
with a
yeah,
4 horse race where I had given them 25%. Now it's 2%.
yeah. One whore has just given up. She just said like, I don't want to be prostitute anymore. This is just a terrible joke, but some people will laugh at it. All the 14-year-old boys. All right. No, by the way, you slightly misunderstood my question. You don't have to answer it. I was just saying that mathematically we're still there. Like otherwise
Yeah,
you would
of
have
course.
just completely gone.
They're
Yeah,
still
mathematics. It's just
yeah.
I'm saying mathematical, not realistic shit. So there's been a little bit of banter after I think Bonucci came out from Juventus and saying like Ronaldo had a like a not a good impact. Not
Oh,
blaming
Sharma is
him,
out.
and I
Sorry.
think Sharma is finally out. And thank God this
Yeah.
time they've caught him. So not looking good. But Virat Kohli says, "I'm here. Don't worry. I will come for the press conference. And whenever you ask me like, should I drop Rohit Sharma? I'll just laugh the fuck out of it." I don't know if you watched that. Okay,
I
coming back
saw
to
that.
this, there was this bit of a like a thing going on in this virtual world because everything is virtual these days. And Ronaldo was not a good influence on Juventus for 3 years, and he made Juventus worse. And the same shit has been happening that he's making United worse. You know what? If you just talk about only just the number, if he was not a person, the fact that he's come into the team has actually made the team worse. But hear me out, it's not his fault. The tactics, the way he's been played, if because of him being there, Sancho gets played in the wrong space at the wrong point, like in the left wing, it's not his fault. If you hire somebody, it's your job to put them properly. Okay. If Griezmann comes in and you don't have a spot for him, and you play him in the wrong position and he doesn't perform for more than 2 years, I don't really blame him. How is he making the team bad? It's like if somebody was versatile or something, I can understand. But I don't think Ronaldo is making United worse. But yes, once he's come in, we're not able to play Cavani. But yesterday, as Gary Neville was saying, play Cavani, play them together. When these people are there, it just looks like a different team. Because no matter what, you know how much people love Rashford for whatever shit he does for kids and other things, and the fact that he's black, Rashford will never be a great player. That's the fact of it.
So
It
I
looked a
think
complete different team with Cavani and him. These guys are legends.
so.
We
I'll
need
tell
to have
you
Cavani in.
on yeah, on Ronaldo. I think it's unfair to say that he makes any team worse. Okay, um, the point you rightly summed it up. Right, it's the tactics and it's what you do around him. It's like do you want Rohit Sharma in your team? Of course, yes. Most teams in the world will say yes. But if you have him in your team, then you have to make sure that the other opener on the other side goes from ball one, because Rohit Sharma, no matter what, how great player he is, he plays a certain way. He builds his innings, and then faces 10 balls and whatever, he builds it, and then he can do magic. Same thing with Ronaldo. If you want him in his team, if you want in your team, then you have to get the tactics to play according to him, and he will deliver 25 goals a season. That's it. I mean, just because you cannot build a team around him, you can consider that he's a disruption and is making the team worse. So then in that case, you shouldn't have bought him. If that's the, if you say that, oh sorry, like he's too big, I can't make my team around him, then I mean, then it's a mistake both from Juventus and United. But I don't think Ronaldo makes any team worse. Coming to, I think,
Or
Cavani, and I think Neville also
we can't not be
said,
playing
like,
Cavani. A player of his standard cannot be just sitting and doing nothing because he is
yeah.
supposed to make team better. And did you want to say something on that? Because I'm going to continue.
Yeah, I was saying that I'm flabbergasted at the point that why did 2 years or 2.5 years under Oli, United were a attacking team, right? Suddenly, because you've bought a few new players, is this arrogance? Like, who the hell do you think you are that you will go and press Liverpool? Who the hell is like Oli to high press other teams? He only knows one style, which is counter attacking. With this group of players, I don't know whether it's the group of players to blame, or Oli's tactics to blame, or his coaching to blame. But United can only play counter attacking style with a low press. United can't be a Liverpool or can't be a City. They can't have 70% possession and blast teams out of the park. So who the hell, like, why did he got carried away and like bloody went on this 8-9 match run where it was like, who the hell, like, why did he go away from what was working for him? And it took him on the brink of being sacked to get back to some sense of realism that, okay, this is where United are. We need, like, seven players defending the ball. Only then the top three can do some magic on the counter.
Yeah, I think what I wanted was like, I mean, I don't completely like, because what I said, like everybody wants good play because we had a lot of shitty matches against Liverpool when we felt like we were actually in ascendancy and Liverpool last season were not. Instead, we just like, sat back, waited, and it was a nil-nil drab. I think we can be a bit more aggressive, but it's like saying next thing, what you high press Bayern Munich. The fundamental of high press is that when you do high press, everybody presses. But Ronaldo is not pressing. You can't work like that. You can't just have one of the main guys not pressing with other people, and he can't do it. He might press like couple of times, but then throughout the match, how is he going to high press? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And we had too many attacking players, and some of them are not into the press.
You
Everybody goes
see, I'll tell
together,
you.
and only Liverpool does it.
I, I'll tell you, half our squad cannot press. Ronaldo can't,
Yes,
Cavani can't because of their age.
Cavani can't.
Bruno does not know how to press, and it's
Does
not
not.
his game.
Yeah.
You can't ask him to curb his game and focus somewhere else. Pogba can't do it day in day out for like 90 minutes. He's not consistent enough to press. And you have your Rashfords and Martial and Sancho. They are not meant for pressing. So who is going to press? Only you can't play a high press with like five defenders at the back. Then it's just crazy and it's suicidal.
Yeah, I mean, you can play from the back, like just everybody's doing that. You play from the back, build it up, have the wingers. I mean, he had the wingers this time as well, right? So it was working. It wasn't looking bad as long, and they were not even able to do much at all. So it wasn't. I was completely comfortable with it. I think I was going to talk about something and I just completely forgot because we kept talking about something. Now, just tell you one thing, that are Chelsea now outright favorites? Because
They
let's be
are.
honest, City is just not, like they're not doing what they were doing last season. And dude, Liverpool, the moment they're just a couple of injuries away from dropping off, like because they don't have the strength, and this form cannot go on completely. Mo Salah will go on few matches, will he'll not score. It will happen. People need to understand this is how football works. When somebody's hot, they're not going to always be hot. They're also going to cool down. This is going to happen. City, in fact, has much more chance than Liverpool. But people should remember that Tuchel, till he won that Champions League final, he was like, at the end he was also panicking. Like, a lot of shit was happening. I think it was FA Cup or something where they lost in the semis to Leicester. Then they screwed
Final.
up the
Yeah, they
last
lost
matches
the
also.
FA Cup
Yeah,
final.
last final. Then they screwed up the last few matches, but it was only Leicester screwing up even big time. Then they actually qualified in the top four. And if they had lost the Champions League final as well, it would have been like, wow, you guys completely capitulated because you completely got destroyed. Uh, right now, I don't know. Lukaku got injured. I think Timo Werner is also injured, but they're going to come back in a couple of weeks or something. But you already
I,
said, I think you feel they are the favorites.
I'll tell you what, like, at the beginning of the season, I did say that they are definitely favorites. But, I mean, it doesn't matter what City do or Liverpool do. Chelsea are so good that it doesn't matter what other teams do. It's the title is in their hands. Forget about the results, forget about where they are currently. Even at the beginning, Chelsea didn't depend. They had such a good squad that they don't depend on what others do and whether they drop points or not. It's in their hands. If they lose it, it's completely on them, not because someone else went on a big run or something.
Okay, I just want to talk briefly about this thing, and I hope you don't defend the case because just like Craig Burley, I've always said one thing, that do not get Jadon Sancho, because I've always maintained, I've not changed my stance. That's just not like okay, but my concern was always that I never felt that we even needed somebody on the right wing. We can manage it. The fact which after which the hirings happened, then we were like, now we really don't need a right winger. Then after that, we don't even play him the right wing, which pretty much defeats, like literally just completely the whole argument of Jadon Sancho getting bought for $100 million. It just completely falls apart. And hopefully you understand now what is happening is this guy is never going to realize his potential the way it's happening now. The amount of players we have, it's just not going to work out because there's opportunity cost, right? There's a zero sum game. The moment he plays, like Cavani played, right? Greenwood is out. We can't have Greenwood on the bench. He is the superstar, and he's going to play from the right because we already have left wingers. Martial is already sitting out. I don't know how he's going to play on the right wing
That's my
anymore.
problem. No, that's the part. That's partly the problem. Greenwood and Ronaldo didn't gel. Greenwood didn't pass. He kept on shooting from the edge of the box. Ronaldo wanted the box. Ronaldo wanted the ball. So that's why
Hmm.
Greenwood drops to the bench. Easy. Like if he cannot gel, Ronaldo has to be there, right? So who drops? Greenwood, because he was not passing, and he was acting like he is the superstar, or I mean, he is potentially, but in the future, not today, not right here, right now. And because Greenwood scored consecutively in the first three matches, that's why Oli was forced to play Greenwood on the right, and then he had to somehow fit Sancho. Now, if Greenwood was not there or not performing, then Sancho would have played on the right, and probably things would have been different. But I'll tell you what, the arguably the hottest striker in the world loved playing with Sancho, and like Sancho gifted him goals and goals and assists and assists. And are you saying that, he has now Ronaldo at the post and Cavani at the post, and he can't replicate that? I mean, Haaland was singing praises about Sancho. How many assists he gave for the last 2 seasons? What has changed?
Yeah, my concern has never been about Sancho's quality. My concern is always about the same problem that Griezmann face when you go and you're not able to fit in. And I can't have Greenwood not playing.
But if you can't
The
fit
only way
in, it's the
Greenwood will play
problem
the
of the
same way
club, right?
Cavani is playing, right? The
It's
way
the
Cavani
problem of
both
the
play with the forward, right? Cavani and like instead of Cavani, the same position he played with Ronaldo up front, right? He can't be on the right wing because if
correct.
he's on the right wing, Sancho cannot play. And then
If you play two up top, then Sancho cannot play for sure. So
yeah, but
then
like I'm just saying, like the same position that they had yesterday for Ronaldo, both playing the number nine. So I think that's what it was, right? They can still have a right wing, right, in that situation. And then where they were playing with three defenders, right, three fullbacks. I
no,
don't, I don't
they
know how the
when
positioning was. It was three.
in
It was
yesterday's
three,
match,
four.
in yesterday's match,
Hmm.
your wingers were Van Bissaka and Luke Shaw. So I don't know if you
Okay.
can replace Van Bissaka with Sancho.
No, you cannot. So yesterday they had at the back they
Three
had
four
Maguire,
three four
they had
one two,
Lindelof,
right?
and they had Valverde, right? 3-4-1-2, right? So they had
Yeah.
this two pattern. I mean, if these two play, then you can't have a winger. You can't have a right winger.
You can't. How where
Okay.
will you fit in? Like, you can't, because on the wing of the four was Shaw and Van Bissaka, and up
How
the
does
top
this?
three were
That's what I'm
Fnatic.
saying. How does
So
this
Rashford
signing
doesn't
make
get a
any
place.
sense?
Sancho,
No, he
yeah. So
doesn't. Play
that's
the
the
hard
problem.
ball. Don't give him a place.
So my point is, it's the same thing. Van de Beek, is he a bad player? Probably no. But just because you can't fit him, you just bought him because you wanted to buy and make your squad like fat. You're buying players. But if you can't fit him, then it's not the players' problem. They don't become bad.
Calling Van der Bee back is just weird because I've never seen the dude because he's never
Correct.
played.
You've not given him a fair chance,
No, they
and
haven't
I
given
don't
him a
think
chance at all.
yeah.
He will
And
ever get a fair
unfortunately,
chance.
He'll leave United and never, show his true potential, because he will never get a run of games.
God damn it! All right, who are you gonna pick for Ballon d'Or? Apparently, there's
Ooh.
been a leak. I don't know if
I
you heard
wished
about it. There's been a
I
leak.
saw. I
There's been a
saw.
leak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were conflicting leaks, by the way. So some
Hmm?
leaks said some, and some
Tell
leaks
me
said
about.
some.
Oh, that sounds
Lewandowski.
weird.
So if you ask me, it was unfair to cancel Ballon d'Or last year when when
Completely unfair.
Lewandowski was
Every league
clear
got
winner.
finished.
So
Yeah, clear winner.
I would suggest. I mean, I hope that they consider 2 years together and announce the Ballon d'Or, and then it's simple, hands down, the simplest decision ever. Lewandowski scored 113 goals in 2 seasons. The second highest is Mbappe at 75. He has scored 40 goals more than the second guy. Won a Champions League, won 2 league titles. That's it. There's no argument. Done. And I mean, I'm sorry, like, I know Messi lovers would hate me for this, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Messi didn't win anything like at the club level last year. I know he had a great Copa del Rey. Sorry, not Copa del Rey, the Copa America.
Yes.
But I mean, if you, it's like giving him like a man of the tournament, like for one tournament. It's a cumulative performance of the whole season and the impact the guy has had on his team. For me, it's Lewandowski over a period of
All right.
24 months.
As you were talking, India has just lost the match already. They were already
Yeah.
48 in 10 overs, and now the first delivery of the 11th over, they've lost Virat Kohli. They're 4 wickets down. It's only 48. And as everybody knows, if you're chasing, you're always going to win. And it is New Zealand who is
Yeah.
India's bogey team.
Yeah.
This is
Unless you
I wrote
somehow make.
Kohli's game over
Yeah.
before the match started. Like
Yeah.
I could see it coming because it's the pressure. Not able to take the pressure.
Unless
Everybody's
you.
like India is so amazing.
Correct.
India is so amazing. Dude, it's the pressure. Kishan played very well when there was no pressure. Surya Kumar played very well when there was no pressure. Did you realize everybody who got selected was not even able to perform? Because when you're not selected, then you're like, you know what? I got nothing to lose. A nothing to lose situation is amazing. Like I run half marathons for fun. But the moment you put like, okay, now you have to do this today, you have to put this time, other people are competing, suddenly there's too many cameras on me. I'm just like, okay, just nervous. Even when this is the last time when I ran for like 6 times, 5 times run without any camera. I was conscious. I was conscious. I was in fact thinking like, I hope I don't faint or whatever. Some shit might happen. Nothing happened. I was okay, but I was concerned. I was concerned. What if I
See, I'll tell
sprain
you,
myself?
the issue is that there won't be any backlash or anything because Kohli is giving up the T20 captaincy. Shastri is going out. So who will you blame? People usually say sack him, sack. And these guys are going anyway. So who will you blame? Like, even though there is a backlash, who will you be angry against? Will you be angry against Dhoni because he was the mentor? No, right? The captain and the coach are going after this tournament. So there's no pressure. Everyone is like chilling. Hey, like, IPL just got over. We'll have 2 more weeks of it. I mean, 1 month of extended holiday. Let's just chill and, see what happens. I don't think, and plus, entire Mumbai Indians was like out of form throughout the tournament in IPL, and that has carried, like, there are 5 players from Mumbai Indians playing in the team right now. They are carrying their IPL form into the national team, and that's it. Now screwed, and I
I really
now
think you're
I see.
underestimating. I'm honestly, I'm very honest. I think you're underestimating. There will be a lot of backlash, whether you're leaving or not, because India has nothing. Like our country,
But
when it comes to
backlash
sport, we
against
have
what?
nothing.
Against who?
Just because
Against
you're
what?
leaving,
Jay
you're still
Shah?
there, right? So just because are you saying just because people have left, there's no backlash against them? Fuck Jay Shaw. Nobody cares about Jay Shaw. It'll be backlash against Virat Kohli only because he's not performed much, right? And
But
his
he said,
performance was
"Sorry,
it's
I'm
been two
leaving,"
fucking
and
years.
I realized that I didn't
But
perform. I'm
he can say
going. Thank you
whatever.
very
I'm talking about
much.
social media everywhere. There will be like a lot of diatribes against this dude. It will be there. You can't just say I'm leaving, so there's gonna be nobody's gonna say tell you anything. It's gonna happen.
I mean, I don't. I
Wait till today. Once we lose this match, it's gonna be fucking crazy. Why do you think it's happening in the first place? Why do you think we're at this stage? Why do you think we are 50 for 4 in 11th over? Because of the pressure. We just couldn't take it. Once you become so hot favorite in big tournaments, India is not even able to perform.
But I
And
don't
Virat
think
Kohli has shown time and time again.
coming into this World Cup is probably the first time where India were not outright favorites. England were, right? England were the
Yeah, but
favorites.
I can understand, but I'm not sure. Like if you really outright favorite, I think India and England were favorites. England has shown such crazy hot form. Now that people are saying like, you know what, England is looking crazy. But when it started, nobody said that England is the outright favorite and India is not. Every punk has been talking about India. And as you know that every commentator who's not Indian, and particularly they're white, they'll always, bump up all the Indians. Like the
In,
great team. Even after
before
they lose, they'll be like
before the
something will happen.
start
But
before the start of the I mean the Super 12s, Nasser Hussain or Mike Atherton, one of the two, said India does not have a plan B and they are absolutely not the favorites. Like, read about it. They were
But
like
at
very
least
clear.
they're
They
honest
said India,
people. They're honest
yeah,
people. No, you're talking about two people who actually been honest. I'm talking about
yeah.
you see the bookies and everything. I'm just saying it was nobody is there that now England will win and India will not win. And after they were coming from the tournament, and India literally has like the greatest riches of players, and then we were not. So are you right now? Question for you: are you backing England to win this damn thing? Because whosoever gets hot, sometimes you lose a big match. Anything is obviously possible,
I
but
think
I mean
I
England's
think
looked
England
absolutely impregnable.
I think England, because Pakistan is known for one thing, inconsistency. And they have been consistent so far. They will screw up in the knockout match when it matters and they'll go out. Because Pakistan can never be on top throughout and consistently play like champions. That's not Pakistan. So
But
they will
Hayden
have
is
one
there.
bad day.
He's Australian.
There will be
Australian.
one bad day. Either it will be final or semi-final. My hunch is semi-final. So, and hence by the rule of elimination, then it's only England.
It'll be the best revenge taken after 29 years because what happened in 1992, if you remember, New Zealand was winning every match. And it was like, it was the pool thing, like everybody plays everybody. So New Zealand won apparently 7 games in the trot. They lost the last match against Pakistan in the World Cup. And then somehow, because of that, Pakistan qualified for semi-final. In the semi-final, they beat New Zealand again, and New Zealand got kicked out. Eventually, everybody knows Pakistan won that World Cup, beating England, I believe, in the final. So this time, if New Zealand just somehow scrapes through, obviously now it looks like after they're going to beat India, they are going to be the favorites with Pakistan. But then they
Yeah,
can't
it's
actually meet them in the semis. They can only beat them in the final. And if New Zealand wins the final and the second ICC trophy this year, That's gonna be some fucking thing, man. Because by the way, in the other podcast, I've already picked New Zealand to win the goddamn thing, beating Australia in the final. And Australia is still in the hot seat to win, sorry, to qualify, because they have won the first two matches. Losing to England is not a big deal because they're most likely going to win the next two matches. Even if they lose a match, three matches, as long as their run rate is fine, they'll still qualify.
I think whoever wins the semi-final between England and New Zealand will win the whole thing. And that's what's going to happen, right? It's going to be
New Zealand
New Zealand semi-final.
Okay. So New Zealand likely to play England, obviously, because England is going to finish top.
Yeah. England will finish top,
Yeah.
New Zealand will finish second, and that's
So Pakistan will play Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pakistan will play Australia because Pakistan is going to finish top and Australia is going to finish second.
Yeah.
This is going to be something.
This looks like a repeat. I just saw a chat in my one of the WhatsApp groups. Someone said that this looks very similar to the 2007 World Cup, where it led to exit of Dravid, and in this case, it will lead to the entry of Dravid.
No, that's a perfect analogy because that's exactly what I was thinking earlier today. Because the way it's happening, we were hot, and then suddenly it was like nothing happened, bro. Like nothing happened. After losing today, only it can get worse. Imagine get worse so bad that even Afghanistan destroys us.
Yeah, ICC will lose some revenues because India will not even go
A
past
lot
the
of revenue,
stages.
man. People
There'll
are
be
losing interest.
Yeah.
People are already switching off. Okay, right now on Hotstar, it's saying 66 lakh. When I was watching the Pakistan game, it had gone through the 1 crore, which is the first time I've seen something like that, like on Hotstar. It was crazy. So this number will keep going down. And if India gets kicked out, like after they lose today, right? So technically in their mind, people will like, okay, India is not going to qualify. People stop watching. Did you see even Australia's match? Nobody was there. Nobody. And you saw India's matches, everybody's there. If you watch a match, the advertisements are 4 times more when India is playing. It feels like you're watching advertisement and then some match comes in between. The guy bends down to pick the ball, they put an ad.
I've heard that IPL broadcast was better than this T20 World Cup.
There's just too much money at stake, right? Now your freaking Ahmedabad team has been bought for like 5,600 crores or something, and some other moron actually ended up paying more than 7,000 crores for Lucknow, the Goenkas, I believe.
The same guy who owned the Pune Warriors or Pune Super or whatever they were called.
Super Warriors. So when there was speculation of around like the opening bid was like starting bid was like 2,000 crores, and people had said this guy, Preeti Zinta's ex-boyfriend, the Punjab guy, he had said it's going to go up to like 3,500, and me and Bikram were like, wow, man, like 3,500. And now we just feel like an idiots that 3,500 is nothing. And what is with this love with Hardik Pandya? Like he's just so fucking useless. But we just love him. You cannot win tournaments with love. You need to put the right people out there and make them fucking win you the matches. There's so much love. No, this guy we don't gonna draw.
I really don't understand the tactical nuance of Kohli and Shastri. You needed a seaming all-rounder in England, okay, and then you were playing bloody Jadeja. In here, you need a spinning all-rounder, and you should play someone who can bat and bowl. Like Pakistan has like 5 off spinners in their lineup. Hafiz, Shoaib Malik, blah blah. Like 5 players bowl off spin. Teams like New Zealand have 3-4 spinners in their lineup. Australia, England, like bloody who was that guy? Livingston is bowling and like 4 overs for 14 and things like that. We don't have spinning all rounders. Like in gully cricket, everyone bowls spin. Everyone. And you don't have like spinning all-rounders. It's just like crazy. I remember the days when Sehwag, Sachin, all these guys used to, bowl a little bit of spin, and you would make up your, quota of, at that time 50 overs, and they used to do a decent job. You don't have decent batsmen who bowl. Like Sharma doesn't bowl, Kohli doesn't bowl, KL Rahul doesn't bowl. All these batsmen don't bowl, and that's what is causing the issue.
I think I'll just tweak a little bit what you're saying is that I think that there's been a cultural shift. So when you say Kohli doesn't bowl, Sharma doesn't, all these people actually bowl. But what has happened is once you become like a full-fledged batsman, like Steven Smith, as you remember, he had come in as a leg spinner. Like if you come as a leg spinner, you must be really good. And I've seen Steven Smith bowl leg spin. He bowls amazing leg spin. But now when he became this great batsman, he literally never bowls. So now people say he's not a T20 bowler. Couldn't he have just bowled leg spins? I mean, the guy is actually a leg spinner. It's not part-time also. He is a leg spinner. But the cultural shift has happened that, as you said previously, everybody used to contribute, they were actually good. But now it just becomes like, if I'm a batsman and if I start doing very well, then I'm simply not going to bowl. And then they don't train for it. And when they come for like one time, it was obviously not going to work, right? Like, look at this guy, Maxwell, who's been working really, really hard on his bowling over the last year, and it has shown fruits. Obviously, sometime when the
Yeah.
pitch is good, trust me, don't make him bowl 3 overs, because they're gonna, once they're gonna rip him, they're gonna rip
Correct.
him apart, which happened also,
In
right?
2020, one over from 2 3 guys is good enough.
Much better,
It is
because
good
then they
enough.
figure you
Yeah.
out what the fuck you're doing.
Correct. Yeah.
And
And
let's
I
talk about,
remember like going back.
yeah, go
Going
on.
back, we had a team where, except the wicketkeeper, everyone bowled. Tendulkar, Sehwag, Ganguly, Yuvraj, like all of these guys used to bowl. Like we had like 8 9 people who could bowl. Like four. I mean, apart from regular bowlers, there were 3 4 players who could bowl decent bowling. It was not like a complete lollipop bowling, but yeah, I mean and that's why we are finding hard to balance the team. We can't go with like 5 bowlers and 5 batsmen and 1 wicket keeper. That's like gone. Like that's screwed up. England is so good because like everyone bowls and everyone bats.
See, the England's the mindset is just like, okay, this is my role, and I'm gonna go for it. If you have 7 or 8 batsmen, and if you go for it, even if 5 flop, you're still gonna be all right.
Correct.
And the way Josh
Correct.
Butler has come in, and then you already have Jason Roy as like an absolute specialist. People used to say Jason Roy goes out from ball one, and Butler takes like a couple of overs. Now Butler is going from ball zero, -1. And what happened to Australia yesterday was just like, people will say Australia didn't play well, but it was just pressure. Like England from the very onset, people can see. I'm going to be realistic that toss is a big deal, but it was Australia. If it was Australia of the past, right, they would have known this is happening to us. We're going to take on these bastards. They did try to take them on, but one thing, as even in the commentary, Watson was saying that, you know what, I know we have lost wickets, but what is the point of putting 125? You might as well get out on 95 by going full throttle. So now he's missed a
Yeah.
delivery, which was a shit delivery. And what the fuck just happened? Okay, it was a shit delivery, but the bats are so good, and that boundary is so small. He would have just gotten out. It was the shittest delivery, and got super lucky, Pandya. And that guy still somehow grabbed the ball and pulled it back from the boundary line. That was just amazing. Oh, look at this thing. Okay, he was so smart. He knew he's not going to be able to take the catch, so he just touched it, like flicked it back in. Beautiful
They
stuff.
don't even care now. Like I mean, New Zealand will be happy. India will make 130 and they will like be done with it in 15 overs. It's
Who was that guy?
so
Nisham?
predictable.
Was it Nisham? Jamie Nisham. Man, this is not looking. What if New Zealand comes out and does what England did yesterday to Australia, like completely thrashed in like 9 overs or something? Man, that is gonna be like embarrassing. You saying there's
Yeah,
not gonna
if
be
that
backlash?
if that
Man, there
happens,
will
like
be
if we
backlash.
lose in if we lose in 10 overs on the TV news, it'll be like 2 days of blah 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 blah, and then Kohli will say like, "What the fuck? Like we've done so well in the past. It happens and all that." And I don't think fundamentally there will be a shake-up of anything. There will be back people on social media like write whether it good is happening or bad is happening. So I don't even consider any reaction on social media reaction, because everything happens you write, right? So I think
No, no,
will it lead to a
I think
shake-up
you're
is my
underestimating
question.
everything. You're
No,
underestimating
I
everything.
would.
I think Kohli's gonna he's gonna eventually lose ODI captaincy also, because this is gonna have a lot of consequences. India cannot get kicked out.
If
Like if
yeah,
Bikram, you know
if
what
you're
Bikram
saying
said? Bikram
yeah,
said in the other podcast. He said if India loses in the semi-final, that's a major, major, major flop. Like that's what for him was a major flop. And I don't even know what he thinks when India doesn't even qualify for the semi-finals. He said that is just semi-final
no, I
loss is
think
unacceptable.
if what you said that Kohli will
Easiest
lose
group, Lal. Sorry
captaincy
to
in
interrupt you
other
over and over. This is the
yeah,
easiest fucking group ever.
yeah.
We have fucking Namibia's, Scotland's,
Yeah, and I'm sure against them
Afghanistan's,
like Rohit
Pakistan, the
Sharma.
shit teams.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, against them, like Rohit Sharma or Kohli will score like a crazy, 70, 80, and people will be like, wow, blah, blah, blah. What I'm trying to say is, if it leads to a shakeup where Kohli loses captaincy in other formats, yes, then I would say, yes, there is a backlash. If nothing changes,
Test
then
cricket,
it's just like
he is Test cricket forever. Like he's the Test is his arena. Nobody
it's
touches
like
him in
it's
Test.
like it's like the discussion with United, right? There is backlash against Oli, but people will not change if he gets like if he just keeps his head above the water, he will not get sacked because the management does not want that. It's the same thing. You and me can cry and shout and howl, but I mean, unless the people at the top want a shake up, it won't happen.
Well, things are happening, right? He had just given up his captaincy for India, given up captaincy for RCB, but he kept the ODI
But
captaincy.
people were saying he's doing it because BCCI wants Rohit Sharma to assume ascendancy. Now Rohit Sharma is also in the dumps. People are
Anyway,
asking, does he need to be in the team? So who will they replace
listen,
him with?
I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I've got a very quick questions. Shortest question is Mo Salah the most lethal striker and the best goddamn player right now in the world? Forget about what happened in the last match.
Current form, yes, he's in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, he still gave assist even the last match as well. So the final question is now Ronald Koeman is out. Is Xavi the answer to all of
Finally.
Barcelona's woes, or you have somebody else in mind? Also, a fun fact before you answer that Barcelona is right now paying 4 managers, and they will soon be paying 5 managers because apart from the interim manager they're paying right now, they're still playing Valverde, who was like hasn't been there for 2 years, Setien, and Koeman. They're still paying. Barcelona really knows how to fuck up big time, bro. Like maybe they should
They
start paying
have.
us also, like hire us
There
for
has
two
to
days
be
and
like
fire us.
I think that in management schools there will be case study on how to fuck up, and it will be Barcelona in the last
It's
two three
like
years.
Virat Kohli situation. It's like subtle
Yeah,
art of losing every toss and subtle art of fucking paying people forever. It's like a
the
retirement
sequel. By
plan
the
without.
way, the sequel to this book is the subtle art of not winning any ICC trophies despite having a great team. That will be the sequel.
Like the greatest team possible. Like you're just choosing the like one thing somebody said correctly is like it's I think one of the commentators was saying not during the match afterward. I think it was probably NASA and all. That is, it's completely unacceptable to take people on reputation when India has so much riches. We still get Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who has not looked good on reputation for the big tournament. We take Hardik Pandya on reputation. Dude, what is the point of having all these riches when you're just gonna take people on reputation? And by the way, Shami should have been dropped as well today, but because I'll tell you this thing very honestly, because what happened last time, because the stupidity that happens every time, and I think there was some religious nonsense that went on, and they will talk shit about him that he's Muslim, you should go to Pakistan. I don't know, I've not read it, I was not even aware of it, but I have now privy to it. All this happened. So now, if they had dropped Shami because Virat Kohli is always, or no, we're going to support you. So now,
Correct.
because that shit happened, they're like Bhuvneshwar Kumar get dropped. But if you see, Bhuvneshwar Kumar's performance was actually better than Shami's, but because of the religion thing came in, it looks
Yeah,
worse to drop Shami right now. So
yeah,
I think both should have
it
been
is.
dropped if you really wanted both to be dropped. But I'm just saying, like, I knew Shami will not get dropped because obviously he got a lot of insults because of that. So everything has become about external things and past performances, except like who the fuck is the real player? We can have Gaikwad right now, and he'll be much better to open than anybody else. But we just put like, okay, Kishan, you just go in a big match. He's gonna get nervous in a big match, and he did. And Rohit Sharma getting dropped on
Crazy.
absolute dolly on zero still does what? Nothing.
It is, man. I mean, it's just disappointing. And I mean, I really hope that the backlash happens. And I mean, it'll happen, but it'll lead to
It will
some
happen. I think you're
shakeup.
underestimating because you're not in India right now. Because we live in India. Trust me, it's bad shit, man. They're gonna burn his fucking house down. They're gonna burn the
That
effigies of his
I
baby.
hope,
And by the way,
I
just
hope,
now, Rishabh panties have been just like there's been a hole right through his panties. He's been cleaned up, and he made 12 runs on 19 balls. This is not even acceptable in Test matches anymore, bro. We are 70 for 5 in 15, almost 15 overs. This is
this is
looking like a
this
fucking
this is too
nightmare.
depressing.
Pakistan is
This
already
is
celebrating Diwali. Entire
Yeah,
Pakistan is celebrating Diwali.
this is
We
too
have
depressing for
absolutely
me, man.
capitulated.
This is too
The only
depressing for
good thing
me
is
on a
that
Sunday.
only good thing or probably a bad thing because I obviously follow Australia more than India. But then I also feel bad for India. But yesterday Australia got smashed, so I was feeling bad. Now India's getting smashed. I'm feeling bad. I'm just happy in a way that we did beat Tottenham 3-0. And I keep saying that Harry Kane is not a great player, and he's showing that he's not a great player. It's not because he's not scoring goals. Even Messi is not scoring goals, but the reasons are completely different. And he just doesn't look. I've never seen him tackle people. I've never seen him like run through people. Like, there's certain instinct that somebody does, and once his mind is gone, he's not even doing things he was supposed to do before. And people are like, oh, defensive and all, but yeah, he was scoring very well while the defense was there with Jose Mourinho. But he's lost his head now, and once you've just lost this little bit edge, and when you don't have the other things working for you, you're just not going to score. He is. This is like almost. This is November, right? Starting tomorrow, he has 1 goal. He's probably going to finish the league with like 5 or 7 goals.
I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go out right now, shut off, and like just see what happened like at night. This is too depressing. I don't have any hopes of India coming back. So that's it for me. Thank you, World Cup. It was fun.
No, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your time as well. Unfortunately, me and Vikram can't do that. We'll have to come back again and take more blows.
All the best.
And just
all the best.
Probably we might die on the podcast. Like we might just end up dying on the podcast. It's just bad shit, man. And please don't review. And they've reviewed it. Stay for the review, please. Stay for the review. What has happened? I haven't seen it. And it's Jadeja. If Jadeja also gets out, he's the one person who actually hits like big shots. And I think it's a golden duck.
Then I think your wish will come true. We will be 95 all out. We will be not 125.
If this guy gets out, I'm not sure 95 will get 95. Look at Virat Kohli's face. Oh boy. I don't know what happened. I haven't seen it. Did you see it? Okay, let me see.
Don't worry, man. Shardul is here to bail us today.
No, this is not going to be out. This looks like he looks pretty high. And I think the best is going to be umpire's call because umpire's already given not out. It's not going to happen. But I think it's missing. They just said like, let's go for it all together. Because he's also like just at the popping crease. So it's going to be okay. Do you give India any chance? You given 2% chance to United win the league. Do you give India any chance to win this match? And 1%. If you think once we lose this match, it's missing. Once we lose this match, there's nothing we can do even after winning the next 3 matches, unless we expect Afghanistan to do some amazing thing beating New Zealand. But then funny part is if they beat New Zealand, they can also qualify because their run rate is through the roof, by the way. Their run rate is crazy. Like it's like 8 or something. I don't know, some crazy run rate they have, right? Yeah. Because they've been thrashing everybody. So this is not looking good. I appreciate your time. This became more. I think we should be happy that this was properly a football podcast because what are you going to talk about cricket? Like there's nothing happening unless you're New Zealand. Then you just laugh, cheer. It's a fairly empty stadium for India match though. So, okay. Thanks, Lal. We'll be back. Me and Vikram will be back in the second innings and continue this onslaught. Onslaught is a euphemism right now. This is a butchering. This is a butchering. Oh my God, I just saw the wickets, like the middle stump gone. Panties are off. Panties are gone. I think that should be the headline.
All the best. You have too much courage to go through this. I'm out, man. Yeah. I tap out.
If you're celebrating Diwali or something, please do that. If you're celebrating Halloween, please do that. I'm going to see you fairly soon after Atlanta and Manchester City has destroyed us.
Oh my God.
It was really amazing to see you after a while though. And now that because it's a live podcast, we just keep talking random shit on the live only. Yeah, it's like you'll also enjoy the live. There's something amazing about live thing. It's just a bit more beautiful than the regular one. So Blunt Bass is saying, don't worry, next World Cup is next year. India will win it.
Hopefully. Dhoni might come out of retirement.
I like it. Like I already had goalies game over before the match started. So people can't even say I'm saying in hindsight after wickets were down. I just had this damn thing. And I'm also promoting Virat Kohli's book for the final time. It's The Subtle Art of Losing Every Fucking Toss, handwritten by Virat Kohli. It's beautiful.
Read it. If you comment on this video, maybe Kev might give his copy. So please raise your hands if you want it.
Vikram, I don't think Rohit will win. I think Dhoni is coming back as captain. He will show them. All right, thanks.
All right, man. Thank you. Take care. And it was good to be back here.
Thank you. And like and subscribe if you liked us. And keep watching if you love us. Take care. Bye-bye. See you next time.